Hey guys, Sean here. Today is going to be a little bit different video. I'm going to show you how Big used very similar utility on three very important rounds at the start of their match against SK Gaming to get out of groups at Krakow. All three of these rounds develop very similarly, but the end strategy is very, very different for each one. So let's take a closer look at this. And at the end, I'm going to show you guys all the smokes, Molotovs, and important flashes. Um, and that way you can run similar things with your teams. Cool. So let's dive in. Okay, guys. So to kick it off, let's take a look at Big's pistol round to open the match against SK Gaming, and look at the minimum amount of utility they're going to need, basically, to run these first huge rounds of this match. So at the start of the round, we're going to watch Nex to try to get banana control right now with a Molotov. And the goal of the Molotov is basically to push back any CT that's playing banana and deter them from wanting to commit for future fights. Fallen sees the Molotov, probably sees next take a step back, and actually makes the perfect play in finding this gap, telling Fur to rotate back to A, pushing down banana, and basically getting full banana control all by himself. Fortunately for Big, Fallen doesn't keep pushing through, so the strat continues. And at this point in the strat, Big's goal is to smoke off both middle of lane and left side mid. And what this does is it tells the CTs that are playing in these areas, we're getting back control. If you stay in front of these smokes, we'll likely trade you. So it's very dangerous for counter terrorists to play in front of these smokes in a strat like this. And a team like SK would know that. And even if they were playing under porch, they would probably backpedal if one of their players got smoked off at Arch, like Phelps would have. So that's kind of the goal of these two smokes in tandem. And also protects Big later on in the strat, and you'll see how. So Big at this point in the round ends up coming up mid, and you can see their spacing is very good right now, peeking lane, jiggle peeking all the corners. And when they gather at lane, so this is very important, when they gather at lane, they're kind of hitting a late timing on this smoke at lane. They know the timings between when they walk up mid, when the smoke is thrown, and you can see Gabi is about to Molotov Taco out right now. And it's not just the Molotov that's going to make this extremely successful, but the flashes that you're about to see from Legia, timed with the Molotov, actually cause Taco to get caught in the middle of the open. And right before this, actually, Nex happens to be smoking the back wall of the A bomb site. So Nex is actually smoking this, which is what he launched this from this location. He just ran up mid. So I kind of want you guys to watch Legia's flashes now and combine that with, I believe it's Tabson who catches, no, it might be Godbeat. So the flashes are going right over the balcony. Taco gets full blinded as he's running out of the Molotov, and the T's basically just clean up the site. So even though SK Gaming had 4 players at the bomb site, unfortunately for them, they had 2 guys playing, on this side of mid, which wasn't successful in stopping the actual A hit. And by the time they finally rotated into the site, they were easy kills for Big. Another thing to note in this is that Big dedicates Legia after he threw those flashes. You saw him to hold wrap and hold the flank, and that's how he actually ends up finding Phelps on the other side of that smoke. It's very important that when you're doing a lane shot like that you have someone that can pick up the wrap and hold the flank. Otherwise, it's extremely easy to get pinched, end up in scenarios where, the CTs have full bracket control. You're stuck in the middle of lane. There might be a guy still in the site. There's a rotator that's already at mini pit library area. So Big knowing that keeps Legia to hold bracket control. So at this point, I really just want to watch the round play out one more time in an overview perspective and just see how SK moves around the map and basically how Big can single out certain locations with their utility. So you can see again, Next pushing back banana, and at this point you could probably fast forward through the round a little bit. Big gathering towards the A bomb site, where they would be pretty vulnerable, as I said, to Fallen or anyone pushing down banana at this point, or even playing aggressive on mid. So they end up gathering at lane, and they're setting up for the A execute. But the problem with SK's setup is 2 players remaining on the wrap side. Fur actually dies almost instantly by Tabson through the smoke, and the remaining 2 players playing the site just get pinched. Okay, guys, so the first gun round the entire match is, in my opinion, the most interesting of Big's tactics using these 3 smoke grenades on the A-bomb site. Again, next starts off in the exact same way. Molotov's off banana, and you can see Fur and Fallen kind of just sitting behind it yet again. This time, Fallen isn't getting the info. He's kind of scared that there might be a guy in banana. He takes his time, basically clearing out banana, and in the meantime, all of Big again is gathering for this A execute right off the bat. Kiev, just in case anyone pushes through, is holding quite possibly the lamest angle anyone would ever die to pushing banana. So again, Big just lining up these smokes, and these 3 smokes are the basis pretty much for these 3 strats. You know, they're giving SK different looks every round to start this match, and basically making them guess as to what's going on at the A-bomb site, setting up future attacks as well. So they started off again with a smoke left mid, and this time they're just trying to bait out grenades a little bit with that first smoke. They followed up with the lane smoke, and this is where things get a little bit crazy. So they flash clear under porch, and the reason for that particular flash, just so that way you guys can just quickly understand this. So they flash off of this wall. It's just a very common flash that a lot of the top pro teams are using instead of, you know, just a pop flash mid or flashing out the boiler that would blow up, you know, right here. There's all kinds of pop flashes that you can throw on mid. But the one that teams use the most right now is this one that goes off the wall. And this even existed back on the old Inferno. And the reason for this particular flash is to stop oppers holding the angle right here by the pillar that can get a shot and then leave. The one thing that you don't want when you take bracket control on Inferno is someone getting a pick and living. So that flash probably does the best job of that, because almost any other flash, there's a chance that it doesn't blind the opera, that he's holding too tight of an angle, or that he's hiding from one side of it via the pillar. So using that flash does a great job in stopping that. So moving on, let's see how they actually hit the A-bomb site this time. And again, you see Fallen has full banana control. So this is actually not going to work out for Big, but it is a very unique strat. And that's why I wanted to break this down. So they're faking the same lane hit. So they're making everything look exactly the same right now. They're throwing the Molotov towards pit. They're throwing the flash towards pit. Everything looks exactly the same. The one difference is they're going to actually end up going wrap towards A and pinching on the A-bomb site. And their plan here, before they actually do it, is to hopefully catch someone like Fur in the middle of wrap, rotating from B, thinking that it's the same type of A hit as it was on the pistol round. Where it goes wrong is that Phelps is very, very close. Their timing is slightly off based on SK's rotations. Not saying that their timing of the strat is bad, it's just SK happened to be in the right spots. So we'll see how it all breaks down. So again, they're faking this. Gob B throws a force smoke this time that blows up, you know, on the opposite side of Graveyard. And the way it should have worked was they get a 1-on-3 on Fur. Phelps rotates into the site with Cold. Taco ends up... See, the strat probably assumes that a guy would be, you know, pit area, balk area, but Taco's Graveyard. That's actually the one hole in the strat, in my opinion, is the Graveyard position. They're hoping to catch a 1-on-3 at wrap, and then end up pinching between the smokes with 3 players, having 2 players come up lane, and either probably one of them ends up going into the site, one of them wraps through the smoke this way, and they basically pinch the A-bomb site. Unfortunately for them, they get demolished at wrap, and the shot kind of just blows up in their faces. And again, guys, just like the pistol round, I'm going to run it back in an overview and just look at the rotations throughout the map, and basically see how SKs move around the map based on the utility used and the information they have. So, same thing, next, Molotov's banana. Tries to get banana control with 1 Molotov, and SK doesn't buy it. They smoke the bottom. Fallen slowly ends up peeking the car right now, gaining all banana control. And soon enough, Fur will be leaving. And by the time Big actually finally is able to execute, when Phelps' smoke completely fades on mid, there's 4 players on the A-bomb site again. So the strat's developing right now. They smoke left mid first this time, and then lane. And again, they're basically telling any SK player, if you're playing in this area, we will trade on you. It's very dangerous to do that. So they kind of know SK will probably give them mid control for free. So again, they're faking this same lane hit. They're throwing all the same grenades, and they're gonna try to go 3-wrap as the smoke fades. Unfortunately for them, as I said previously, two SK players playing in the middle of wrap just demolished them, and they're stuck in a. Honestly, it wasn't too bad of a scenario having that 2-on-2 in the A bomb site. I know it was a 2-on-3 total, but they got it down to a 2-on-2 within that little quarter of the map. So it was winnable, but it wasn't like the shot should have worked based on where SK was. Okay, guys, so let's take a look at the third strat, big runs using these 3 smoke grenades. This one's actually much like the last one, very unique. I've never seen a strat like this run on Inferno. I'm a huge fan of the Molotovs they throw, as a spoiler. So let's take a look at how this all plays out this round. So this round actually starts off a little bit differently, where Big decides to fight for banana control. And the reason why they fight for banana control is they're seeing time and time again when they hit the A bomb site with these smokes, 4 players. On the pistol round, they killed 4 players within a matter of 5 seconds. They know 4 guys were there. They know Fallen must have had full info. On the first gun round that we just watched, again, they fight 2 guys in the middle of wrap before anyone dies, and one of those guys is the B rotator. So they instantly recognize, guys, there's 1 guy at B every gun round. We have to get banana control. So they start off the round by sending 3 guys towards banana. A little bit different, obviously. It's not next, just solo Molotoving. Fallen thinks that they're going to throw the deep Molotov, decides to smoke behind it and peek. Fortunately for them, they switched it up and they threw a shallow Molotov. And they basically are just using all the utility they can possibly use, a couple grenades. Nex uses his 1 Molotov. They push back Fallen at B, and they leave Nex at the end of banana. So if Fallen does decide to push completely aggressively, he's going to run into Nex. And at the very least, they'll know it. So again, they're just setting up for the strat now across, alt mid with these 4 players, and Nex is about to join them from banana into the little box. Again, strat starts, Legia smokes off lane. We got a smoke left mid coming from God B. And this Molotov is absolutely god tier. So they're gathering behind the lane smoke right now. Legia throws a Molotov that goes on Balk. God B is going to throw a Molotov that goes Pope. And then we have a third Molotov going Graveyard right now from Tabson. So again, the same utility for the basis of the strat is used. The Molotov into pit coupled with the flashes on the balcony. It's very important that they couple that Molotov with the flashes on the balcony. So if there is a guy in that strong pit position, he's going to run out, get blind, and Gobby's pathway is actually designed to catch that guy in that location. And I'm actually going to run you guys through Gobby's pathway because it's super important that he enters the bomb site doing exactly what he does. So let's run it back one more time here. Watch Gobby. So if they're pushing back banana, Gobby basically comes up towards top mid, spams smoke a little, ends up lining up his smoke for left side mid. Smokes off left side mid. And Phelps actually made a very unique play where he threw a Molotov to kind of mess up that smoke. Gobby then lines up the molly for pit. And you can see his pathway. He turns his head to not get blind, and he instantly turns to clear out the 1 corner pit that isn't flashed. Trades on the site guy and is in Graveyard. It's just such a clean way to entry into the A bomb site, where if anyone shoots at him from the site, he has 2 players ready to trade on that guy's site. He has Legia holding the top mid flank, and I mean, it's just there's not many holes in this strat, especially on a round like this where SK doesn't have the best economy. You know, they only strung together 1 round, and unfortunately for them, they just get reset right away. Now, SK, as a spoiler, SK actually saves these 2 guns and goes on a massive run, I think this half, and gives Big a hard time. But the start of this match, these 5 rounds, in my opinion, are what won Big this match. What ended up facing SK against the Strellis in the first round, and the start of this Inferno and how well structured it was shaped the entire major, in my opinion. So that's why I wanted to go over it. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to show you guys all of the smoke grenades and Molotovs using this strat now. And let's kick it off with the one in the middle of lane that we see every round. So this is one of the more important smokes in the entire strat that Leggy is about to throw. So let's check it out. So he just uses the shadow, so you're going to have somewhat decent shadow settings. And jump through. And you can see it actually just, I believe it hits the skybox and lands just in the middle of the lane. So now we have Nex, who actually has one of the easier smokes in the strat. He just smokes the back wall of the site, and to this he makes the wall flush like this, just holding the flank just in case anything happens. And you'll see him whip around and usually aim up in these coil-looking things. And right above the planter. So in this round, Tabson actually throws a really crafty smoke for left side mid, and he ends up throwing the Molotov that goes on top graveyard later in the round. So I'm going to fast forward up until that point. You can see that's the gap actually that Phelps created by throwing a Molotov as the smoke bloomed. So you basically move against the back wall to the pillar, and right below the roof, and he's just running on at that point. Okay guys, so the last 2 are going to be of God B, and on this round he actually smokes left mid, and then he's actually the person that mollies pit. So we saw this a little bit earlier in the video, but let's watch it one more time. So he just aims in the middle of the doorway, and you can see he lines himself up along the wall, so that way the whole door is showing on his screen, and it's cut off by the closer wall. And then he just jump throws. That smoke doesn't have a gap. That's Phelps smoke again. And that's a very easy Molotov. You're just kind of winging it. Okay guys, so on this round, Gobby just throws the flash under porch. He runs back to throw this smoke that goes kind of on the other side of default boxes. We'll follow it over the wall. So it's like a walking throw smoke that hits the roof and bounces off the bomb site box. And you can see it basically creates a little gap that Taco and Cole are kind of sitting in between. Alright guys, that's actually it for breaking down the big strats versus SK Gaming. I hope you enjoyed the video. A lot more content coming. Please do subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.